top scientists say it'll be the equivalent, bare minimum, of 85 Chernobyls.
Yeah.
And it's not even a news item.
No, you don't hear that anymore. Neither do you hear about the ongoing crisis in the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf is practically dead. They're getting shrimp with no eyes. They're getting shrimp and other sea creatures with tumors. The oil's still there. They're still spraying Corexit, a dangerous chemical.
Much worse than the oil, yeah.
Much worse than the oil. All it does is push the oil to the bottom of the sea, and it'll eventually work its way up. These are environmental absolute disasters, and they're not even on the news anymore.
That gives new meaning to sweeping it under the rug, all that oil.
Really, absolutely. It just pushes the bottom of the ocean and tell everybody it's okay. People are dying down there. There's been more than 1,000 first responders to 9/11 on Manhattan there that are already dead, and many more of them heading that way. And yet this comes from the same Environmental Protection Agency that told everybody, oh, the air is fine in Manhattan. Just go back.
Hey, let me throw
business.
this at you. What do you think about Mitt Romney versus Obama? Both paid for by the same banks. Both support carbon taxes, open borders, gun control. The list,
endless war. Hey, there's no difference. They're just the left and right hand of the same entity.
Well, so then what do you make of Obama publicly saying, I can't wait to get reelected to use dictatorial power and executive orders to ignore Congress? I've never heard talk like that in all his executive orders. It looks like they're really trying to get people ready for the big deal. I mean, they're now
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it. That's what I'm saying. They're pulling the gloves off. There's no longer any sneak and hide around and try to act like it's all about something else. This is about naked grab for power, okay? And I tell you, the one that really gets me is when Obama comes out and announces he's forming Black America, African Americans for Obama. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that racism? I mean, I thought that's why we kind of went along and elected a black person so that we wouldn't have racism. What if Alex Jones got up and said, I want to form white Americans for me for president? Wouldn't you be raked over the coals by the media? I mean, this is the hypocrisy of what's going on now, and the insanity is just beyond belief.
You're absolutely right. Tell us about your last book and the new book that's going to be coming out.
Well, the last book is The $1 Trillion Conspiracy, and it's still valid. It lists just about everything we've been talking about, plus much, much more, fully documented, fully footnoted. Plus, there's a section at the end that actually offers some ideas on what can be done about all this, okay? Now, the new book coming out that I've just turned in, it won't be out probably until maybe even the first of next year. We'll talk about that later. It's going to be a real eyebrow raiser because it's focusing in on these people who are trying to run the world, these people who are behind the New World Order. Who are they? What do they really want, and where did they come from? And you might be surprised at the answers.
I can't wait to read that and have you on the show and carry it in the INFOWARS.com shopping cart. Jim Marrs, thank you so much for the time tonight.
Thank you, Alex.
Amazing information. All right, that's Jim Marrs. We're going to go to break and come back with Charlotte Iserby to understand what Agenda 21 will do through education. The end of parental rights, forced inoculations, forced abortions, doing whatever they want to your children, not letting you have them do chores. The state is mommy, the state is daddy, and the state wants to make sure they're brain-damaged, addled servants of the New World Order. We'll be right back. Don't forget you can subscribe 15 cents a day at PrisonPlanet.tv or get a 15-day free trial to see this when it first airs, 7 o'clock. All the films, archives, and more. PrisonPlanet.tv.
Have you been to InfoWarsShop.com lately? Express your inner patriot with these brand new InfoWars t-shirts. Say it loud with the InfoWars Bullhorn shirt, or educate the sheeple with the Bill of Rights shirt. Grope the public's mind with the TSA shirt. And with this shirt, you can let the dark side know of the Rebel Alliance's power. All available at InfoWarsShop.com.
Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at INFOWARS.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. INFOWARS.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at INFOWARS.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139. And we are back. Thank you for joining us. Now we're going to have our second interview of the evening here at InfoWars Nightly News with Charlotte Iserby. Charlotte Thompson Iserby, who, of course, wrote the first phone book-size book, Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. She's now released, that's out of print, a revised and updated edition that I should add is still very lengthy, but absolutely essential for any educator or parent to understand what's really happening from the inside. She, of course, was #2 at the Department of Education, the head of policy, and her father and grandfather were also members of Skull and Bones. And her original information that was linked to Anthony Sutton is what blew that order wide open. And we, of course, have premiered those in-depth interviews here for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. But tonight, she's got new breaking news and analysis on education or the brainwashing. In fact, later we should cue up the Attorney General saying he met with the media to brainwash the public against guns. There's video of this. This is their whole worldview. This is a process of brainwashing. If the public seems totally dumbed down, many of them, it's a process. It's also not just educational, it's chemical through the fluoride, all of it. And now those documents have been released. So just amazing information beginning to unfold. But first, because her book gets into this, she talked about this in the 80s, and Ronald Reagan basically showed her the door, that there was a plan to basically end the family as we know it. She's got the quotes where they call it a disease inside government, and to slowly get it to where the parents just have the children, and they're taken like eggs from a hen by the state. Communists tried this, Hitler tried this. This is the real authoritarian model. Now, they're targeting the farms under Agenda 21. Big Pharma and Big Agri write the laws that they're exempt from, try to shut down the family farms. Now, Obama has come out and said a rule, not a law, but a rule. He's going to ban anybody under 18 on their parents' farm. It's going to kill the family farm. It's going to kill that tradition. I mean, it literally breaks its back. He's saying, as we covered last night, and we've shown you these articles, he is openly saying a rule, dictatorially, that you will not be allowed to do chores, any of it, getting eggs, dealing with any raw materials, dealing with anything. It's over. This is the incredible takeover of our society. So I wanted to bring that up and get Charlotte's take on it. We're about to go to her. And also, California passes a law. They can pass laws, they can kill you for no reason, doesn't make it constitutional, that they can get consent from 10, 11-year-olds to get Gardasil vaccines or abortions without parents. Well, can a pedophile get consent from a 10-year-old girl to have sex with him? No, even if he tricks them to say yes, they're not of the age of consent. Well, now the state's saying we're taking kids' DNA nationwide. Coming in, going, give us your DNA. And if the 5-year-old gives consent, the police are saying it's okay because parents don't count. This is incredible. This is the state destroying parenthood in front of our eyes. So talk about vindicated. Charlotte Iserby has been vindicated from her stand in the 80s and her tireless fight in the last 30 years. And she joins us as an internal whistleblower who has really slowed down their agenda. But now they just don't care if it's out in the open. They're rampaging forward. Charlotte, there's my opening analysis. I want your take on this attack on parenthood, the farms, all of it. I know I've talked about it, but I want you to go over it and then tie it into the overall Pavlovian dog training and break it down for us, the new information.
Alex, what we're looking at now, it's sad. We seem to have arrived at that 50-year period, certainly it's more like 100, but major change agents say it takes 50 years from the beginning of change, the agenda, setting of an agenda, and implementation. And what we're really looking at is going back to 1965, the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. And the purpose of that act, in a few words, was to change education from academics, where children had upward mobility, they studied the arts and the sciences and music, etc., to performance-based, which is what's going in right now all over the country. And it's been called different names through the years. Started out being called mastery learning. They experimented in all the inner city schools with the Skinner method. And that's why the deplorable test scores for the inner city schools, they started that in 1968. And people just never seemed to figure it out that they weren't looking for academic results. They didn't care about the inner city kids going down the tubes. They were changing the system. They were changing it to a system which is going to be implemented right now through school choice, charter schools, and it's been set up ever since Carnegie Corporation in 1934 called for it. In its conclusions and recommendations for the social studies, Carnegie in 1934 called for this system. You do away with grades, A, B, C, D, E, F. You do away with kindergarten through 12th grade. It's continuous progress. There's no competition. And a child can graduate at age 12 or 21. This is a new system. This is, all right, I think your audience can probably fill in the blank there. This is the Soviet education system. If you compare their system to what we're putting in now, no competition, right? Because Soviets communists don't like competition. This is the school to work agenda, where they identify the children at an early age, what they're going to be doing for the rest of their life, womb through tomb. Now, everything that goes on in our lives is going to be the Chinese system modeled on the Russian under the umbrella of the unelected school district. All these documents are in my book. Now, unfortunately, what we have happening here is the neoconservative movement, which has its roots in Trotskyism, is supporting this. They're supporting school choice. They're supporting charter schools. And it's understandable that people would go along with it because the schools were deliberately dumbed down to such an extent that people will accept any solution, even the loss of representative government, which is unelected boards to run the charter schools.
All right, let me stop you for a moment, and I should also add that you still agree to this interview because you care about this so much, and there's been some new development with this charter schools. That's the breaking news, and you also are sick and under the weather, but you're still doing it because of that, and we appreciate you, and by the way, you're doing a great job. But I want to just back up what you're saying. They've first banned dodgeball, now running and tag, now running period at recess. Now they're getting they're saying get rid of valedictorian. So everything you talked about 30 years ago, people said that's crazy, even though you had the documents. You didn't have the internet to expose it to everybody at the time. You were just trying to warn them. Now that's out. Then you bring up the fact about getting rid of representative government. Now we're being told get rid of it, and Obama's saying he can't wait to be reelected to do whatever he wants and ignore Congress. But then Mitt Romney is run by the very same people, and now they've admitted what you said months ago. Ron Paul did win Maine, did win Iowa, but the Republicans won't just count it. I mean, it's just we're seeing total. Why are they accelerating so fast right now that I want you to get back into the heart of this, charter schools?
Well, let me get back to this because it's really very interesting how it's a repeat performance. It's constant. And this hype over the schools we all know are off. I mean, I've written about it. Why? Why does Isservitz write 750 pages about the deliberate dumbing down of America if she isn't concerned about the quality of education? However, I'll tell you one thing. I'd rather stick with the system that we have right now.
For the big deal. I mean, they're now
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it. That's what I'm saying. They're pulling the gloves off. There's no longer any sneak and hide around and try to act like it's all about something else. This is about naked grab for power, okay? And I tell you the one that really gets me is when Obama comes out and now
Top scientists say it'll be the equivalent, bare minimum, of 85 Chernobyls. And it's not even a news item.
No, you don't hear that anymore. Neither do you hear about the ongoing crisis in the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf is practically dead. They're getting shrimp with no eyes. They're getting shrimp and other sea creatures with tumors. The oil's still there. They're still spraying Corexit, a dangerous chemical.
Much worse than the oil, yeah.
Much worse than the oil. All it does is push the oil to the bottom of the sea, and it'll eventually work its way up. These are environmental absolute disasters, and they're not even on the news anymore.
That gives new meaning to sweeping it under the rug, all that oil.
Really, absolutely. It just pushes the bottom of the ocean, tell everybody it's okay. People are dying down there.
Open borders, gun control, the list,
endless war. Hey, there's no difference. They're just the left and right hand of the same entity.
Well, so then what do you make of Obama publicly saying, I can't wait to get reelected to use dictatorial power and executive orders to ignore Congress? I've never heard talk like that in all his executive orders. It looks like they're really trying to get people ready.
There's been more than 1,000 first responders to 9/11 on Manhattan there that are already dead, and many more of them heading that way. And yet this comes from the same Environmental Protection Agency that told everybody, oh, the air's fine in Manhattan. Just go back
Hey, let me throw
business.
this at you. What do you think about Mitt Romney versus Obama? Both paid for by the same banks. Both support carbon taxes.